The Battle of Guadalcanal, America's first offensive. January 1942. Tokyo celebrates victories, but Admiral Yamamoto already foresees the future. Japan captures the Pacific at lightning speed. But Yamamoto knows the truth. The empire has only a year and a half before the American war machine reaches full power. We must conclude peace by then, he tells his friend. But the politicians don't listen. The attack on Pearl Harbor was incomplete. American aircraft carriers remained unharmed. Yamamoto plans a new strike, the battle at Midway Island. But in April, the Doolittle Raid on Tokyo shocks the Japanese. The Americans are only beginning to fight. June 1942. The Battle of Midway ends in catastrophe for Japan. For aircraft carriers destroyed. The news is classified. Meanwhile, Japanese forces advance south. Goal: isolate Australia. Washington understands the threat. Admiral King develops a counterattack plan. Target: an unknown island called Guadalcanal. Reconnaissance photos show airfield construction. If the Japanese complete it, the path to Australia will be open. Problem: nobody knows how to conduct an amphibious operation. Since the Spanish-American War of 1898, America hasn't landed troops on enemy territory. Command has 1 month to prepare. Admiral Gormley is grim. This is suicide. General MacArthur agrees. We don't have enough air support. They request postponement. Admiral King responds, no, we proceed as planned. Problems multiply. Supplies loaded chaotically. No reserve troops. The rehearsal at Coral Island fails. Only 1/3 of the landing force reaches shore. July 31st, 75 ships head toward Guadalcanal. Aboard, 11,000 Marines who have never participated in a real amphibious operation. August 6th evening. Admiral Fletcher, commanding the carriers, announces, I'll protect the landing for only 2 days. Everyone is shocked. Abandon the troops after 48 hours. August 7th dawn. The sky clears. At 6 o'clock in the morning, planes take off from carriers. Complete surprise. Japanese pilots are having breakfast when the bombardment begins. They flee in panic into the jungle. On Guadalcanal, the landing proceeds without resistance. Marines find tents with half-eaten breakfasts, rice bowls with abandoned chopsticks. One soldier says, I wish the Japanese would come out and fight. All they do is run into the jungle. But on Tulagi Island, everything is different. Elite troops are stationed there, 250 fighters under Captain Miyazaki's command. Against them, the 1st Marine Raider Battalion, America's best of the best. The battle begins. The Japanese dug into the hills, created interlocking fields of fire. Each position must be taken by storm. In one bunker, Marines kill 17 Japanese with dynamite. But 2 survivors kill 2 Americans before dying themselves. Snipers everywhere. In trees, behind rocks, in buildings. Their tactic: let the advance unit pass, then shoot them in the back. This almost always means death for the sniper, but before that he manages to wound several soldiers. At night the Japanese counterattack. They break through the defense between 2 companies, surround one of them. Hand-to-hand combat. Rifles, knives, grenades. One company loses half its sergeants. At dawn the Japanese are pushed back. Sergeant Goss attacks a cave. He throws a grenade. The Japanese throw it back. He throws again, holding it for 3 seconds. Thrown back again. He blows up the entrance with dynamite. The Japanese push the charge outside. The explosion wounds Goss himself. Enraged, he bursts inside with a submachine gun, kills 4, discovers 8 more corpses. On Gavutu and Tanambogo Islands, it's even worse. The landing occurs in daylight. Fire is intense. The 3rd wave comes under fire before reaching shore. Japanese attack tanks with crowbars, grenades, rags soaked in gasoline. One tank commander opens the hatch, kills 23 Japanese with a machine gun. But a Japanese climbs onto the tank and stabs him with a bayonet. Another Japanese throws burning rags inside. The tank burns. By evening, reinforcements are sent from Florida Island. They get 5 minutes of artillery preparation. The last shell hits a fuel depot. The shore lights up like daytime. Japanese machine gunners see the landing craft clearly. 2 boats reach shore. The third, the coxswain, is killed. The boat turns around. The rest follow, thinking the order changed. Men from 2 boats hide behind the concrete pier. The Japanese attack. Captain Crane is cut off from his boat, hides with 5 men in the bushes. Only at 4 in the morning does reinforcement arrive. Result, on Tulagi, of 250 Japanese, 200 killed, 3 surrendered. The rest swam to Florida. On Gavutu and Tanambogo, all 500 Japanese died to the last man. Not one surrendered. America learns a new truth. The Japanese fight to the death. After several cases when supposedly surrendering soldiers blow themselves up with grenades. Along with Americans, the Marines stop taking prisoners. Shock at Rabaul. At 8:30 in the morning, 27 Betty bombers take off south escorted by 18 Zeros. But a surprise awaits them. American fighters from carriers. Ace pilot Saburo Sakai shoots down 1 F-4F and a dive bomber, but then mistakenly attacks a group of torpedo bombers. 4 rear gunners open fire simultaneously. His plane is riddled, he's seriously wounded. Miraculously, he reaches Rabaul and loses consciousness immediately after landing. Of 24 Bettys, only 1 returns. The Zero still surpasses the F-4F in maneuverability and speed, but the Americans learn quickly. They develop the scissors tactic. A pair of fighters constantly turns toward each other, concentrating fire on the opponent. August 8th, Admiral Fletcher keeps his word. At 6 o'clock in the evening, he requests permission to withdraw carriers. Without waiting for a response, he leaves. Admiral Turner understands. Without air cover, the fleet is defenseless. The Japanese react instantly. Vice Admiral Mikawa assembles forces, 5 heavy cruisers, to light ones, a destroyer. His plan: night attack. The Japanese are masters of night combat, the Americans are not. Intelligence problem. Search is divided among 3 commands: MacArthur's B-17 bombers, Admiral McCain's patrol planes, Fletcher's carrier reconnaissance. But Fletcher conducts no reconnaissance at all. He's preoccupied with withdrawing carriers. For the morning of August 8th, large-scale reconnaissance is planned. For PBY aircraft from Nandi, 6 from Espiritu Santo, 6 from Manus, 3 B-17s. But there's a problem. The slot, the direct path between islands from Rabaul to Guadalcanal, is completely uncovered. Admiral Turner notices this, requests special reconnaissance. Somewhere between his flagship, McCain's headquarters, and the seaplane tender Mackinac, the message is lost. Reconnaissance is not conducted. The Japanese squadron moves through the slot undetected. Submarine S-38 spots them, but command doesn't attach significance. Ships often go to and from Rabaul. The Americans left wide open the most obvious route for enemy approach to Guadalcanal. The stage is set for catastrophe. Tomorrow night will occur one of the worst defeats in U.S. Navy history. The Battle of Savo Island, where in 32 minutes America will lose for cruisers, but on shore 11,000 Marines have already landed. The airfield is almost in their hands. A 6-month battle begins that will change the course of the war in the Pacific. This is only the beginning of the battle for Guadalcanal. The island the Japanese called the Island of Death, and American sailors christened the waters around it Ironbottom Sound.